But with this guy right here, I am truly ecstatic about. And the reason that I'm ecstatic about Coach Elko, for the first time in a long time, we have a defensive-minded head coach.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into TexAgs Rewind, presented by Specs. I am here in the Rollo Insurance Studio, and today is Tuesday, August the 20th, 2024. And we had ourselves a great show, Nick Savage, correct?
Of course, yeah. Anytime this guy's there, yeah, good show.
Yeah, he was very good. Billy Liucci was good. Callie, what was your favorite part of the show?
I think my favorite part was Jamie Morrison.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Jamie Morrison was great. How about Damontre Moore?
Yeah, also great.
Inspired. How about Charean Williams?
Also great.
How about Olin Buchanan?
Also
Duck.
great.
How about...
Olin Duck Buchanan.
Yeah, you'll find out about the duck here in a minute. How about David Nuño?
Also great.
Nice try, Callie.
Yeah.
What?
I heard her hesitation. I heard it.
No, my pauses were getting longer each time.
David Nuño with the zone. Just kidding. It's the rewind. Number 4, OB is...
Number 21.
Which
Torian
is...
York.
Torian York.
Yeah. Man.
Top 5 player, sophomore, who killed it in his freshman year.
You know, once again, there are those people that get too worked up about the stars when some guy's coming in. What's he ranked? You know, there's a 3-star guy who's a 5-star talent. He came in, like you said, okay, maybe this freshman kid can help out. What do you mean help out? He took over a starting job immediately.
Billy told us during the spring he's starting.
Right. I mean, he got here immediately and turned heads, and then he goes out and gets 74 tackles and 3 sacks and 8.5 tackles for loss, and now he's a captain, because that just goes to show what his teammates, even older guys, think of him.
Yep.
And he's smart, and he's everything you want. I think in a line, he's up to about 236, so he's a big guy in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Man, and A&M's been needing some linebackers. They need a linebacker. He has linebacker instincts. He came here as a linebacker, not a guy that was a safety they're trying to make into a line. He was a high school linebacker who was really good and underrated, and now he's a guy that could be an all-conference player.
2023 ESPN Freshman All-American. 2023 SEC All-Freshman Team. 2023 Sean Alexander Freshman of the Year semifinalist.
Yeah, and remember, just what was it, 2 years ago, linebackers were like a black hole. You know, they were so, it was, they just, the linebacker play was just abysmal.
Yes.
And of course, you know, you had the defense corner wanted to put 4 of them out there. You didn't have any linebackers, or at least guys with linebacker instincts. And you get Torian York again. I think because there's so many things about Torian York to like, but I think what I appreciate the most is just the linebacker instincts. He knows how to play linebacker.
He does.
He can step into a hole and the play ends at contact.
3rd on the team with 5 hurries and 4th with 8.5 tackles for loss.
Man, I mean, that's a productive freshman.
Shereen, I was reading Aggies Wire this morning, and they had this note with 1,320 yards this year. Mike Evans would become the 6th player in NFL history to rack up at least 13,000 yards in his first 11 seasons. The other 5 are Hall of Famers and 1 who's about to be a Hall of Famer. Just rare air and very believable air for him.
Yeah, it really is for anybody who watched him play game after game after game. You know, it's funny to say this based on the numbers you threw out and the numbers we know he's had, the consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. Every season he's had at least 1,000 yards, all those things. But I do think he's one of the more underrated players in the NFL since he's been in the NFL. When you look at All-Pros, he's never been an All-Pro. No one ever considers Mike Evans one of the top 5 receivers in the NFL, and that he's always on the field. Talks about availability. He's always there. He's always catching passes. He's always catching touchdowns, 1,000 yards every single year. Look at those touchdowns, how many touchdowns he has in his career. It's a pretty remarkable career, and I do think he's going to make the Hall of Fame. You know, you start looking when you're in the room, some things you look for is all-decade teams, all-pros. You know, in other words, where did he rank with guys that he played with? And he's not going to have those things. But I still think he's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame because just when you look at the numbers, and I know the numbers have changed for receivers, but they're remarkable with what nobody in NFL history has started a career with as many 1,000-yard seasons as he's had. And it's just, he keeps going and going and going. And with different quarterbacks, by the way. Tom Brady's really the one really good guy that he's had as a quarterback. And I know his connection right now with Baker Mayfield is great. I expect him to have a huge season this season. It may be his best season this season. He just seems to be getting better with age, but I do think he's headed toward the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Let's
talk about this new season because, I feel like there was this up and up with Kevin, with Summy, up and up with Jimbo, and then both had this downward trend that we got to see, unfortunately, too often. So now, after having several coaches just not reach the level that we expected, Damontre, what is your excitement level for Texas A&M football this year under Mike Elko?
First off, that's a phenomenal question.
Yes.
As far as my excitement level, let me apologize to the fans. I know I keep adjusting the camera because I talk with my hands, but the excitement level, I said I was excited for Jimbo because he was the big name and stuff like that. And we have to say certain things. And Jimbo was a phenomenal coach within himself. Coach Sumlin was a big name coming out at that time, being the hot guy, having ties to A&M through Larry Jackson. But with this guy right here, I am truly ecstatic about. And the reason that I'm ecstatic about Coach Elko, for the first time in a long time, we have a defensive-minded head coach. A&M is known for the wrecking crew. So for a defensive school to have a defensive-minded head coach, and not only that, the stuff that's coming out about from the former players of how he's developed them, and he's a great person. And even my time this past spring going down there to a couple practices and just interacting with him, the thing that makes me most excited and gives him that X factor and why I think he's going to be our guy, he gives me Mike Sherman vibes. He really cares about the players and developing them. And all the best coaches that I have been around, Pete Carroll, Tom Coughlin, those guys, they really got to know their players. When Tom Coughlin made that change in his career, Strahan told him, you got to learn the players and this is what's going to work, and making that adjustment. And with Elko, he knows his players. He's talked to them, and it's evident, it's so present. And I am so excited for it. I know that was a loquacious answer for that one, but that's how excited I am about Elko, because that time and that detail that I explained with him, that he has that same tenacity with his players.
A question came in over and under of sacks in the Notre Dame game at 4.5, and I took the unders. I just think 5 seems like an exorbitant number. But if they do get to the quarterback that many times, then obviously I would feel much more comfortable with A&M winning a convincing game as opposed to a close game.
I think the number of sacks certainly matters, but I think we're focusing too much on it. They might get to him 7 times. We've seen games where A&M defenses, I've seen a game or two where DJ Durkin defense got to Jalen Milroe 4 or 5. I don't know how many they have last year. 6.
Yeah.
4, up back at Alabama the year before that. How many times did Mike Elko ring up and sack Bryce Young? I think that was 6 or 7 in that game. So you can see it. And oh, by the way, both of those guys are not mobile. They're extremely mobile. If the O-line is just getting whipped, you're going to get 5 half-dozen sacks in a football game. Because there are times where the quarterback's just going to have to fall down and eat it, and there are times where he's going to get legitimately sacked and not see it coming. There are going to be times where he thinks he has time, but his blind side, somebody gets whipped and it's too quick to get rid of the football. All of those things. But let's not forget how mobile Riley Leonard is. And so yes, I do think the number of sacks will be telling, and it'll be a pretty telling statistic, because if you don't get a few of them, because I'm 100% convinced A&M's going to get a lot of pressure. If you don't get a few of them, at least, then that to me feels like that means Riley Leonard's done a good job of getting outside and escaping the pocket and causing you problems, because that's where he can, obviously cause big-time problems when he breaks contain. So part of, I think, any game plan that anyone plays Notre Dame this year is going to be to make sure you don't get too far upfield. And you contain Riley Leonard. You don't let him get outside of you. So that kind of sometimes by design is going to slow down the pass rush, but Mike Elko might do it in a lot of different ways.
Callie, please tell the people what to do in that kind of pausing way.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment.
Yeah, not enough inflection.
And share.
Subscribe. TexAgs. We'll see you next time.